Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
Oh my goodness, guys, welcome to my Ahsoka Episode 4 reaction and initial thoughts video. Wow, that was nothing short of amazing. I am in just complete, utter disbelief and shock here of that episode. It was action-packed, tear-jerking. Oh my, like, so much stuff just happened, and oh my. Okay, so first things first, clearly there's spoilers ahead. My spoiler-free initial thoughts and reaction that's that. Wow, go watch that. I'm at just a loss of words. They did the thing at the end of the episode. We'll talk about that in just a minute, and they did some other things that are different with that there actually as well. They took some criticism from the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. We can see that there. The lightsaber fights, we had the death of Marrok in this episode first of all, and that's confusing. I feel like that has something to do with like Night Sister witchcraft going on there with Morgan Elsbeth, Shin-Hati and Sabine, and their like whole situationship going on there as well. They're like at each other's throats. Baylan versus Ahsoka, like Baylan is a beast, and I didn't expect it, honestly. I didn't think that he was going to be like that powerful or even put up that much of a fight. Dude freaking whooped Ahsoka's ass, and it was just insane of how he did that, throwing her off of the edge of the cliff out of like something out of Avengers Infinity War with Black Widow falling off of the cliff. And then of course how they bring that full circle and explain that at the end of the episode a little bit more. That was like perfect. That was just perfect. Absolutely nothing short of that. We also have like the hyperspace ring like finally take off, and that's like out now, and like now it's really going to like start like, I think that we're in the second half of the season now for sure, and like this is really quite a page turner here in this episode, if for anything. I don't know about what's necessarily going on with Sabine joining like Baylan and Shin. He explains to her and like tempts her to the dark side and all of this stuff. I don't feel like it's 110% like there. I believe that Sabine's going to play along with it. She doesn't have much of a choice other than to play along with it because she doesn't have any other way out now, especially that they've made the jump to the other galaxy, Peridia, of where Thrawn and Ezra Bridger are. I have my fair share of like theories on that, thinking about that like right now. I think that maybe Sabine's only way out would be to actually find Ezra, and like that's that, and like that's the, like her only way out, unless somehow, some way Ahsoka's able to also make her way there. But even then, I just don't feel like that like Ahsoka's powerful enough to take on Baylan, Morgan Elsbeth, Shin-Hati, and the rest of like the guards and stuff that's going on there, especially Thrawn as well, thinking about it, and whatever army that Thrawn's possibly potentially built in this whole other galaxy. This just sets the bar like on a whole nother level. Like, oh, I don't think I can comprehend this, like on a whole nother level. This is some of the best Star Wars that we have ever gotten from Disney. This competes like with The Force Awakens and like the Mandalorian season 2 finale. I think at that, this is better than the Mandalorian season 2 finale with Luke Skywalker showing up. There, I said it. I honestly think the only way that they could top this is if they had a scene with Anakin Skywalker, Ahsoka, and Luke Skywalker. So let's talk about it. Anakin at the end of Ahsoka episode 4. I'll have a whole nother video discussing and talking about this in more detail and more of an explanation and more in depth, of course, here on the channel a little bit later. But essentially with what we saw there is that we kind of in a way saw like Ahsoka die, straight up. Like Ahsoka died, and now she is in what I believe is the world between worlds. This is what we saw at the end of Star Wars Rebels of Ezra Bridger, and that's where he finds himself when Ahsoka is dueling Vader, if I remember correctly. And technically Ahsoka was supposed to actually die in her duel with Darth Vader in Star Wars Rebels, but Ezra pulls her out into what is called the world between worlds, and this is essentially like some type of way of like heaven, I feel like, or an afterlife for the Jedi, like with what we hear Anakin. Hayden Christensen's back, like, oh my god, by the way, that's just hitting me like right now. oh my gosh, Hayden Christensen's actually back. Like, oh, sorry, I don't know why. That's just like a realization moment. Like, he's back again for even more. And when you think about it, like, it was so short and so sweet. He's destined to show up again in episode 5. Like, for anything, they're gonna pick up right where they left off with that scene. I think that's exactly how Ahsoka episode 5 is gonna start off, with her talking with Anakin Skywalker in the world between worlds. And like, he's just gonna give her like a pep talk, pretty much, I feel like, in a way, and she's gonna get sent back on her way and find her way back to Sabine, find a way to get to this other galaxy, Peridia, of where Thrawn and Ezra are. I definitely believe by that point, that's where we'll see Hera join up with Ahsoka back on Seotis. This episode is just absolute peak, though, and I feel like there's like just a lot to digest, a lot to take in. Like, as I had mentioned, this has to be one of the best episodes, one of the best pieces of Star Wars ever, for one, and ever since, like, The Mandalorian Season 2. Like, this tops that. So much to think of, so much to talk, digest. Of course, I'll have a breakdown video here on the channel, going into depth with the Easter eggs and things that you might have missed throughout the episode, explaining references, of course. I think, though, however, as I get sidetracked there a little bit, from there, after she's, like, done in the world between worlds, we'll see her go back to the planet Seotis and join up with Hera Syndulla, and from there, that's where they'll figure things out and find a way to get to this other galaxy, Peridia. I also have a feeling that if for any, we're gonna see Thrawn in the next episode. I think that goes without saying. We'll also see more Anakin Skywalker, and maybe, just maybe, we'll even see like Ezra Bridger, or like our first, like, more of a hint or something of that nature to like showing that he's about to show up pretty soon here. They also did some like de-aging effects there with Hayden Christensen, as I had kind of poked at a little bit at the beginning of this video here. They kind of took some feedback and criticism for what we saw with Obi-Wan Kenobi, and in those flashback sequences of Obi-Wan Kenobi, a lot of people had said that like he's supposed to be a Padawan, and this is something that's supposed to be taking place like after the events of Attack of the Clones, if I remember correctly, and a lot of people were complaining, saying that he looks still a little bit old. They went ahead and they tweaked that, they fixed it, and they made him like look a whole lot younger using some de-aging effects. I think that they honestly pulled it out pretty well. It's a similar technology to what they did with Leia and Rogue One at the end of that movie, and also clearly for Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian Season 2, and also in the Book of Boba Fett. That technology has improved like so much. We also saw our good friend Carson Teva in this episode here as well, after appearing in like all seasons of The Mandalorian as like this New Republic just X-Wing dude flying around, always running into Mando for whatever reason, is now working with Hera Syndulla in this episode. Absolutely incredible episode here, guys. As I had mentioned, I just have to take this all in, digest it. I'm dying to know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Your initial thoughts. What did you guys think about this episode? Like, holy crap, oh my gosh. Stay tuned for our breakdown video with all the references and things that you might have missed throughout this episode. I'll have that out a little bit later here on the channel as well. Thanks so much for watching today's video, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.